Crap. Thought I was ready for this, man. Ooh, the courage, y'all. The courage it takes to talk about some of this heavy stuff and to ask the questions many of us are asking. It's perfect for you. Ah, she's like singing out of my soul. Sometimes we get lost in our own little world, but it's all so much bigger than we realize. It's me, it's Rosalie. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I got something really special for you. A rapper named Hopsin. And I'm going to check out his song, Ill Mind of Hopsin 7. I have never heard Hopsin before. Hopsin is an American rapper, and I don't know anything about him. It says that his style has been compared to that of early Eminem records, and that both Eminem and Michael Jackson were his biggest inspirations. Okay, without further ado, guys, subscribe if you're new. We are all about world music. We go on these rides where we explore different music, all kinds of genres, all kinds of languages, cultures, countries from all around the world. We dive into the psychology, philosophy. I just love exploring the art. Keep in mind, the observer influences the observation, meaning I'm going to bring in my own twist and see what I have to say or what I find out of these. And that's about it. Shout out to all of y'all who listen and who dive deep with me. Okay, that's dope. I'm going to start over. Okay, the introduction is already awesome. The vocal elements here, that choir, the desert. The similarity here that I see with Dax and Hopsin is just we're both talking in both videos high-end cinematography. And what I also find amazing is how there's these creative elements of where that person in the desert is changing with the beat as the rhythm kicks in. So it keeps you on your toes. Just from the get-go, it's got me interested. Let's start over. See? That glitch almost. Okay.
Anybody I might alarm. Life is a tour, I sit and ride along, taking some notes and then I write the songs. I'm staring down the road, my life is gone. Is this calm while asking you for some answers, but we don't have that type of bond. Now my desire's gone, and with the way that I've been living lately, if I died right now, you turn the fire on. Sick of this bullshit, niggas call me a sellout, cause I hopped in Christianity so strongly then I fell out. Now I'm avoiding questions like a scared dog with his tail down, feeling so damn humiliated cause they looking at me like I'm hellbound. What story should I tell now? I'll just expose the truth. I'm so close to the fucking edge, I should be close to you. But who the fuck are you? You never show the proof. And I'm only fucking human, yo, what am I supposed to do? There's way too many different religions with vivid descriptions, begging all fucking men and women to listen. I can't even beat my dick without getting convicted. These ain't wicked decisions, I got different intentions. I've been itching to get it, I've been giving assistance, but the whole fucking system is twisted. Now I'm dealing with this backlash because Marcus isn't a Christian, and I've been told that my sinful life is an addiction, but I can't buy it. It's just too hard to stand beside it. I need an answer, humans can't provide it. I look at the earth, the sun, and I can tell a genius man designed it. It's truly mind-blowing, I can't deny it. Is heaven real? Is it fake? Is it really how I fantasize it? Where is the Holy Ghost at? How long does it take a man to find it? My mind's a non-stop tape playing and I can't
Oh snap, is it real? Is it fake? Amazing rap skills up in here. And also, again, addressing that topic, that struggle of where are you, God, right? Like if I'm close to the edge, so I must be close to you, right? Because you must be close to the edge. Like you don't answer, I can't hear you. Hopsin here also talking about different religions, but also addressing his personal, very personal struggle. The judgment of others, being a sellout. So it feels more personal, but it's still relatable to people as a whole. And then even things like I look at the earth and sun, I can tell a genius man designed it. So there's still this idea of I know there's got to be something, and I think many people can relate to that. Anyway, let me go back to that part.
Tell a genius man designed it. It's truly mind-blowing, I can't deny it. Is heaven real? Is it fake? Is it really how I fantasize it? Where is the Holy Ghost at? How long does it take a man to find it? My mind's a non-stop tape playing and I can't rewind it. You gave me the Bible and expect me not to analyze it? I'm frustrated and you provoked it. I'm not reading that motherfucking book because a human wrote it. I have a fucking brain, you should know it. You gave it to me to think, to avoid every useless moment. It was a mission that I had to abort, cause humans be lying with such an inaccurate source. It's gonna be hard to put me back on the course. Next Jehovah's Witness to come on my porch, I swear I'm slamming the door. A lot of folks believe it though, but I'm not surprised. Humans are fucking dumb, still thinking that Pac's alive. I ain't trying to take your legacy and torture down. I'm just saying, I ain't heard shit from the horse's mouth. Just sheep always telling stories of older guys who were notarized by you and you finally vocalized. Now I'm supposed to bow my head and close my eyes and somehow let the Holy Ghost arise? Sounds like a fucking poltergeist. Show yourself and the boom is done. Every rumor's gone, I no longer doubt the shit, you're the one. I'll admit that my sinful ways were stupid fun, and all my old habits can hop on top of a roof to plunge. I donate to a charity that could use the funds. Fuck the club instead of bitches, I'd hang with a group of nuns. And everyone I ran into would know what I came to do. I wouldn't take a step unless it was in the name of you. I hate the fact that I have to believe you haven't been chatting with me like you did Adam and Eve. And I ain't seen no fucking talking snake unravel from trees with an apple to eat. That shit never happens to me. I don't know if you do or don't exist. It's driving me crazy, send your condolences. This is me reaching to you, so don't forget. If hell is truly a pit of fire and I get thrown in it, I'ma probably regret the fact that I ever wrote this shit. My gut feeling says it's all fake. I hate to say it, but fuck it, shit, I done lost faith. This isn't a small phase, my perspective's all changed. My thoughts just keep picking shit apart all day. And in my mind, I make perfect sense. If you aren't real, then all my prayers aren't worth a cent. That will mean that I can just make up what my purpose is, and I can sit in church and just say fuck in the services. Man, what if Jesus was a facade? Then that would mean the government's God. I feel like they've been brainwashing us with a lot, so much that we don't even notice that we're stuck in the box. Man, everything is what if. Why is it always what if? Planet Earth, what if? The universe, what if? My sacrifice, what if? My afterlife, what if? Every fucking thing that deals with you is fucking suspect. I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. This is my fucking life and I'm living it. I'm having fun. If you really care for me, prove that I need to live carefully. But I'll be damned if I put my own pleasure aside for an afterlife that isn't even guaranteed. We are you, and you're us. Stop playing games. My life's all I got, and heaven is all in my brain. And when I feel I'm in hell, my ideas are what get me through pain. Do as you please, and I'll just do me. I'm a human, I'll stay in my lane. Ill mind. It's us, mind, power. Live life, mind, power. It's us, mind, power. Live life, mind, power.
Couple of things from the start. Don't go. Subscribe and let's talk. The fact that there's these bongos, percussion, I feel fitting because his setting is in the desert, right? We're talking about religion, so naturally our mind will go to Bible times and Israel and Palestine and Middle East. So to have bongos and those rhythmic elements beyond just, a full drum kit, I find cool. When he was walking away, it almost looked like he was hinking, right? That limp. And I know that sometimes that people do that either to look cool or just like that's how they walk. But I wonder if part of that was intentional because of the Bible story where a man named Jacob wrestles with God. He ends up asking God or wrestles with God for a blessing. And I think he ends up walking away with a limp. That's why people to this day, Israelites, don't eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip because the angel of God touched the socket of Jacob's hip, which led to that limp. So I wonder if him hopping away, I'm sorry. Hopsin was limping away, could have been this little nod to wrestling with God, because right here, that's what I feel he's doing. It's hard to say which one I like better, y'all. You let me know in the comments below. Desert land, right? Jesus being tested in the desert, people nomads wandering through the desert, right? The idea of looking for the promised land. Also fitting in the sense of wrestling with God, fitting with this idea of being in a desert, right? Philosophically, psychologically speaking, when you're in a place of no answers, when you're in a place of despair, it feels dry and dead. It doesn't feel like, waterfalls and tropical forests and birds chirping and paradise. It feels like dry. You're looking for water. You're searching for answers. I feel like masterfully have put in to song and to art not only man's questions for God and for existence, but our struggles, our existential questions, right? This whole idea of why do I suffer? Why do good things end? This whole idea of pleasure. Here with Hopsin, he's also talking about heavy topics, but he brings in a couple of more personal things, but also the overall feeling is, for me personally, just even a touch heavier. He's walking away, right? He's walking away into the desert, limping away. His rap skills, here too, a lot of rhythmic elements to his rap, and I really like that. His cadences, his rhythmic flow is present. There's just a lot of nuances to how he's rapping, okay? And it works with the different words. When it comes to the songwriting skills, there's a lot of literary art, not just simple rhymes. There are literary art forms. When you can communicate a substance, a message, something of meaning, something heavy and powerful that has people going, oh, snap, but still doing it with literary art, I applaud that. And this idea of mind power, find power, right? We're trying to search for it, mind power. A lot of it is up here. And so there's a lot of intellectual questions here, and a lot of courage to ask those things, to not shy away from coming in hot, coming in strong versus going, oh crap, I'm about to be struck by lightning. But from the get-go, saying things like, I write the song, I'm staring down the road, my life is gone. Is this where I belong, right? Existential fears. We all come to that point at some point, more or less, where we're staring down that road. My life has gone, right? We're trying to look at where we've come from. Where are we headed? What is my purpose? Why am I here for? Psychologically, just full-on existential questions. My mental state is effing me up, which works with that mind power, find power play in the beginning. I cried a pond while asking you for answers, but we don't have that type of bond. To me, saying, I'm crying so much, I'm looking for answers, but we don't have that type of relationship. That my desire is gone with the way that I've been living lately. If I died right now, you turn the fire on, as in I'd go to hell. And later on speaks of that too. So already setting the stage for here, he's coming in from a place of, we don't have that type of relationship. Like, I'd go to hell if I died right now. And a couple of times I also noticed this idea of hedonism, meaning like pleasure, right? This it's a philosophy, the theory that pleasure is the highest good. That's what hedonism is. And I often have quoted people like Dr. Yalom and his thoughts on our existential questions, our death anxieties. And Dr. Yalom pulls a lot from the philosopher Epicurus. And I've learned that Epicurus was often been mistaken to be someone who focuses on hedonism. Some feel, because I think the word to epicure implies this idea of pleasure, whereas the philosopher Epicurus actually wasn't really teaching, the goal of life, to deal with our existential fears, to escape our death anxiety, is just to look for pleasure. But that's what people do, right? We either look to religion, right, to the afterlife, which is a big topic in this song. We look for hope in heaven or reincarnation to give this life meaning, to escape our crippling, paralyzing fear that we're going to die. Or we believe there's nothing, right, and then that becomes our worldview. Or we look to science and math and we try to measure everything and prove everything and kind of find ourselves against the wall when we can't prove or disprove God. And so there's all these heavy, as human beings, being finite and being three-dimensional. It's so hard for us to grasp anything beyond that. And so there's this attempt to deal with it in different ways, right? Either religion, hope in the afterlife. Some people so focused on that, they're not even present to this one. Others are so present to this one, they think they can escape death by defying it, right? Let's do crazy things all the time, adrenaline rush. Or there's those who want to try to be forever young, surgeries, cosmetics, a success, appearance, right? Trying to maintain our youthfulness because, God forbid, we get old. But whereas there may be similarities in the word epicure that imply pleasure, Epicurus, the Greek philosopher, more so, according to Dr. Yalom, focused on the idea that it's making memories. So it's not so much about hedonism, this constant pursuit of pleasure, as some people do. And if you take that from people, there's no God, there's no hell, heaven, there's no consequence, or as my daughter would say, consequence. what is the point, right? So we look to pleasure to escape our death anxiety. And so here in this song, I'm saying all that because here in this song a few times I noticed all his questions and his struggle and his frustration, and it kept going back to that place of, just say something one time, right? Then I'll do everything in your name. I won't, everything bad, it's going to just jump off a cliff, basically. I'm paraphrasing. I'm going to stop living in sin. I'm going to stop doing this or that, right? And so it's basically saying just show yourself. And of course, depending on who you ask, people will respond and say, well, he did, right? People will say he did in Jesus. He did, through Mohammed. He spoke to, Buddha. But then the problem with that is that none of these people are here to tell us these things, right? Those of us who are here now go, okay, you can choose to believe that, but what about this and that, right? Then you take into consideration that people wrote it, and then people will respond and say, well, it was divinely interpreted. God told them. And he's dealing with all that in this song, right? Things being notarized by human beings in the name of God. Old men saying, oh, God told me this. I'm going to write it down. And it gets tricky, right? Yes, we can choose to believe that, but it gets tricky because there's multiple books, multiple religions that have been founded by people who say God spoke to me. Listen to what I have to say. I'm the messenger. And then unfortunately, a lot of these people are not around anymore. Or you have opposing religions that claim the actual opposite, but with the same premise. God spoke to me, I know. And then you have, sects and cults that immerse, right, where people are encouraged to drink the Kool-Aid, literally. But it is a matter of faith at the end of the day because there is no proof, right? There are many ways that we can scholarly take apart text and see mistranslations and see false quotes and see changes through history, through church history, through world history, where it gets tricky. When you're willing to actually ask the heavy questions, it leads to more questions. And it's a scary place to not know for sure. It's a scary place to say, crap, I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't know the root word of that. I didn't know that this was mistranslated. And actually, this makes no sense, right? And so the more we study, the more we're left with questions. And that can be a very lonely place because that, unlike almost anything else, will trigger our existential fears. Because if our worldviews, our faith, our belief are questioned, so is our entire identity. And that's why that's such a existential crisis, right? To stand there in the desert, looking up at the sky, crying out to God, saying, I'm looking for answers, but I can't flip and hear you. And to say, what's the point, right? If you would just show up and tell me one thing, I'll stop all of it. Everything can jump off the cliff. That's not right. I won't even take a single step without doing it in your name. But what I'm gathering here, it is plenty of questions here that we can all relate to, but then there's just elements that feel very specific, and we have to pick and choose, I guess, what applies to us personally. But there's just a lot of references that I keep noticing that go back to this idea of I'm just going to keep living my life. I'm just going to keep having fun and my pleasure in my life. And so the approach I'm noticing here that he's using to deal with his existential crisis is leaning towards hedonism, in my opinion, leaning towards this idea of I'm done. I'm just going to, have my pleasure. What's the point? And I think that's a challenging place to be when you don't believe in God or your conclusion is a big question mark. Is the solution then to say, well, everything goes? If God doesn't exist or this religion is wrong or these people lied, the government's God, right, as he says, but we're all just living in this box. We're stuck in a box. What's the point, right? And so that is then also, that leads to further questions of what's the point in life and what does that practically mean? Does that really mean everything goes? Let's say if there is no God or if a certain religion is false, does that really mean that the correct conclusion now is everything goes, right? There's no more right or wrong because there's no heaven and hell. But then that also begs further questions such as, is that really the point of not killing each other just because we want to avoid hell? Is that really the point of trying to be moral sexually and with our words and with our actions because, we're just trying to stay away from hell and make it to heaven? Is that really the only possible motivator to make the right choice? Or is it possible to have certain moral compasses and to understand that an hedonistic worldview and seeking our constant pleasure to escape our death anxiety and to give our life purpose, is that really the best way? Just practically speaking, religion and God aside, is that practically the best way to get where we're trying to go, which is a life of fulfillment? Because that's what we all want. At the end of the day, we want to be loved, we want to matter, we want to feel like this life mattered, like there was a point to it. But if the only place we're looking for is pleasure, or in our mind, since that's what the song concludes again, live life, mind, power. if that's the only place we're looking for answers to our existential fears. Is that really the best conclusion? There's no easy answer. I don't have the answers, of course, to these heavy questions because that too is a matter of faith. And but I will say this: amazing rappers, powerful song. What did y'all think? Your turn. As always, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for being on this deep dive ride with me today, and I'll see you on the next one. Ayo.